What is up, guys and gals? Fonz really fell-handed here. Today we have some Iowa footage here for you. Been playing the battleships a little bit more here than usual. This is a little bit older footage here though, but we've got some Bismarck stuff here. Footage coming at you here very, very shortly, assuming of course my capture card does not in fact eat it, which is a viable thing. It may actually do that. Now, moving on, guys, I want you to check down in the description box below the video. Go down to World of Warship Peeps. Down there you're going to see lots of interesting folks down there. I highly recommend you go and check out every single one of those folks' channel and subscribe, because they're all good folks. Got some really, really good content out there, so make sure you go down there and check them out. Okay, so back to the game. We are beginning some opening volleys here. Not really getting a whole lot of connection there, just kind of letting folks know that we're in fact thinking about them. And you know, when you're in the Iowa, that's a big deal. If somebody's thinking about you and they're in an Iowa, you know, you've got problems. You've got problems in your life here. Take a little bit of return fire, not too much of a big deal there. Didn't do anything more than just scratch the paint, but you know what? That's all good. We have plenty of paint to scratch. 6,200 damage here. We're not exactly knocking down Guinness Book of World Records, but you know what? At the same time, we're doing something, even if it's not much. We're kind of backing up just a little bit here. We don't necessarily want to get into the point where we kind of get ourselves locked in a crossfire, or folks can kind of get some broadside shots on us. And it's a good thing we're backing up, because it looks like we've got a lot of enemy fire here falling short. I'd be very interested to see how much shots I take this game as far as damage, possible damage, because I've already had quite a few different folks shooting at us there. We're going to see if we can't tap this gentleman real easy like. He is spamming high X at us. We're not necessarily crazy about that, but at the same time, if you're ever in a battleship, you kind of have to be very, very cool with being on fire. Now, as far as that last spread goes, that is not indicative of what the Iowa is about. You know, you're going to see typically a lot tighter groupings than that from Sims, as a general rule. Now, of course, you know, granted, you're always going to have these crazy wild shots. It looks like you have German dispersion, but in this case, you know, it just kind of ended up being like that way. Here is a little, it's a little weird too, seeing some of this dispersion, because you don't really see that on your American battleships. You normally see a lot tighter grouping, a lot tighter precision, dispersion, what have you. Set on fire there, and you know, we were essentially just waiting for that to happen. Going to the top of the board there, 1 down for the bad guys, 0 down for the friendly. So, you know, the game is still very, very young. Haven't really made a whole lot of moves yet. Nice little tight group right there. If we can connect with that gentleman, it is going to sting. Ended up getting a defended ribbon. 16.8k for damage. Looks like we're getting some crossfire here off our port bow. Still currently on fire. Kind of a thing here. It's not necessarily as bad as if you have half a dozen British battleships shooting at you, but you know, cruisers, what have you, are still bad enough, still taking a little bit of fire damage, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Side note here, your heal will actually fix all of your fire damage. Little known fact there, didn't know if you folks knew that or not. Still drawing an insane amount of fire. Folks are really not wanting me to be a part of this. 18,000 damage, continually taking rounds here from the port side, backing up the entire way. And realistically, if we continued forward even a little bit, you know, eventually you would be giving up shots on the port and starboard side. So something to think about. A good little bracket on this gentleman right here. Girl, look at that group right there. That is a pretty group. We let him just a little shy there. We needed to lead him a little bit more to hit him dead center. We didn't connect with him at all, or very, very little, it looks like. So, you know, good for him, bad for us. All we can do is take that and learn from it and try to, you know, scooch up a little bit on the next shot there. I've got a good front guns loaded here. Super firing 4 guns loaded. Going to try to take a shot at this gentleman. Looks like every single round he fired us just missed. We did manage to connect. Did not do a whole lot of damage. 22,000 damage. Going to the top of the board there, no change. It is pretty much dead even, more or less. Granted, they have lost a destroyer, very powerful piece, considering how many slow-moving targets we do have on our side of the board there. It looks like we've got 2 destroyers, so he had a pretty good deal there as far as the DD goes, especially being the only DD. But you know what? Sometimes you just go out there and don't make it happen, even though you're supposed to. But you know what? We've all been killed pretty early in the game, so I'm not really hating on him. He just lost an opportunity is all. Getting back to the game here, on fire once again, not a big deal. New targets coming into range here, bringing the 4 super firing guns around here to bear. Going ahead and firing them. Let's see if they connect here. That's a pretty decent shot. Nice little spread there. Just glanced him. Didn't even really get a good solid connection. And we have yet to get a good solid connection, by the way, there. 31,000 damage thus far, and continuously on fire. This gentleman right here is lifting up his skirt for us. Let's see if we cannot make him pay for the error of his ways. We are angled a little bit up here. If that gentleman decides to fire at us, we went ahead and gave him a little bit of citadel action right there. And what we're trying to do is kind of more or less get the ship in between all of these bad guys. That way, no matter which way they fire at us, we're going to have a little bit of an angle there. You never want to, give up a flat angle in any game, World of Warships or World of Tanks, just FYI. That gentleman's off the board there. Super Bowl rings, multiple deck fires, notafan.com. Go ahead and use the repair kit damage control and get that out of here. As far as things go, we're under half health, but that's fine. We can still go out here. We can still make some moves. 68k damage. Out here making it happen, folks. Going to the top of the board, it's even. It's dead even. It's a 6v6 type situation. Things have yet to get, really exponential. The game is moving into its adolescence. A lot of moves we can still make. A lot of things we can still do here. Gentleman right here lifting up his skirt, so to speak, really can lay down some decoration here on the starboard side. If he maintains this given course, you never want to give up the broadside to an Iowa. Iowa of anything would just punish the absolute mess out of you. Just like that. So, don't necessarily give it up. I mean, because, even if you're in a Yamato, you may not die, but you are going to get touched.com. GetTouched.com. It's a new website. 92,000 damage here. Bad guys, 1 extra down there. The bad guys are 5. We have 6. We just kind of finished out that last one there. And we're starting to kind of get to a situation here where we can open things up and we can kind of go in and advance, and we don't have to kind of circle the wagon, so to speak. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're pushing up here into a kind of a power position where we can get further into the map and we can make some things happen. But earlier, we were taking so much fire, we were taking a lot of crossfire, so in that given situation, the best thing to do is kind of consolidate one's position. Now, granted, of course, it could have been worse. We could have been taking torp fire, but we kind of lucked out of that one. 99,000 damage there. Decorated that gentleman just very gently, not a massive decoration, but just a gentle touch, so to speak there. He is at an angle right now to where if we do manage to connect, it's not going to do a super amount of damage. It seems to me this entire game I'm not getting a super tight grouping, which is weird, because for the most part in the eye with Sims, you get just absolutely just, you know, buckshot worth of grouping. I mean, it is tight. But what can you do? It's just not happening for us. It comes down to RNG ultimately, and it's just not with us. But you know what? That's fine. We're going to go out here. We're going to keep firing these guns. As long as you keep the guns running, folks, that's all you can do. You go out there, you keep the guns running. That's the best you can do. Perfect side shot here. Gentleman's giving up his port side. As soon as we get loaded here, we're going to show him the error of his ways or not. It looks like he just got evaporated. This gentleman right here, if we can connect with him, it looks like he's turning and he gets disintegrated at the same time. Now is when things are kind of getting exponentially more difficult for the bad guys to kind of hold on to anything meaningful. It looks like every time you see them, they're on their way out. But that's, you know, that's fine by me. That gentleman right there got a little bit decorated, not quite as much as we thought he was going to get, but you know, that seems to be always the case. 105,000 damage, 2 bad guys remaining versus 7 of the blue team. This is essentially just waiting for them to die and trying to snatch XP. That's all it is at this point. They could possibly snatch victory from defeat, but you know what, folks? I don't necessarily see it coming. Oh, kablamo. Super Bowl rings. That was a heck of a shot, if I say so myself. From around the corner all the way downtown. Had a lot of fun in the Iowa, folks. 124,000 damage, 328,000 credits. Folks, I really hope you enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to be featured on the channel, by all means, holla at your boy. We'll see you next time.